times doing simple things. Does anyone else get that, by the way? Sometimes when you're doing stuff, like it just doesn't seem to work, and then you're normally doing something really simply easy, simply wrong even. So, talking today a little bit about AI. Good morning. Hope everyone's doing well. Using AI, but using AI to make more money. And I think this gets, I feel like we're in a weird place. I don't know about you guys. Yeah. AI is great. We use AI. But I also think AI is in a mad little place as well. Maybe if I pop you, is it turn? There we go. Right, okay. So just so you don't think I'm completely mental, we've got Instagram here, TikTok here, mental hair here. And then we've got YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. So here's what we're talking about. How to utilize making money from using AI. And the big problem that we've got at the moment, I try and word stuff in the right way sometimes, but I don't always. I think people are going a little bit over the top. But I do genuinely think that we're going to be at the stage that people are going to be crying out for human interaction, but we're not at that stage yet. So what we want to start working out is, where does the opportunity sit based on where you are right now? Are you going to be making a complete and utter pivot? And I'll give you guys a prime example. My multitasking skills not strong today. Right. I just ended that live. That wasn't smart. Okay. So we've got to work out, right? What are we going to do based on where we are now in our lives? If I move this over, this will probably be smarter. If I move you over here, why don't we put you in here, TikTok? And then I can put Instagram in here, and then you're sort of all fairly similar, so I'm not looking around like a spanner. So I use AI. Most businesses now are going to be using AI, and it's like so many things. Some people are going to use it in a really effective way. Some people are using AI in a way, but try not to offend everyone. Just because everyone else is doing it, they wanted to be involved. Prime example. Let's forget about AI for the moment. Let's say football. Most people on the planet at some point have kicked a football. Most people on the planet at some point have played football. Does that mean they're a footballer? No. Is there a lot of people that will grow up daydreaming about being a footballer, but not actually ever develop the skills to a high enough standard to become a professional footballer? 100%. And I think with AI, it's not about just using AI. It's actually utilizing in a way that's going to move things forward for you. Now, there's a really interesting podcast I was listening to the other day that basically saying how much for things like ChatGPT, they're very narcissistic. I don't know that word gets thrown around a lot, but they're basically telling you what you want to hear. We teach it the parameters, and then it will tell us based on the information that we've given it. And that's not always very helpful. So we've got to be able to think about how we're going to utilize this. Morning, Callum. Whether you guys are here on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, you guys here on TikTok, you guys here on Insta, I think that's right around. How can you use it to make more money within the business itself? And actually, replacing in some of the lower menial tasks isn't the big razzle dazzle with AI. And I think for a huge amount of people, what they're utilizing AI for isn't probably the most effective way that they can actually be using it. And for a lot of people, when you're in the process of setting up AI, morning Pete, morning Matt, morning Alessandro, for the vast majority of the time, spending a little bit more time on the thing that you're doing so you get the long-term benefits makes the world of difference. And actually, what most people are doing, and I saw a guy do this the other day, he basically just got it to create a sales pitch. Now, he got it to create a sales pitch, not really based on anything. Now, when we think about sales, saying sales is like saying sports. You've got inbound, you've got outbound, you've got 1 call, 2 call, 3 call, close. You've got paid ads, you've got cold calling, you've got people coming from webinar, you've got one-to-one, one-to-many, you've got all of those different variables. Now you've got high ticket, low ticket, you've got whether they're transformational products, whether they're tangible products, whether they're intangible products, all of those things are going to have a big difference on the way that people buy. And if you just go to something like ChatGPT and get it to create a basic level pitch, what you're actually going to do is add a load of resistance into the sales process, because what you're going to do is blindly trust what you've done on AI. Now, I'm not saying that AI isn't good. AI is fantastic, but it's only going to learn based on the parameters. A guy called David Stanley just said, boring bloke, never buy a thing off him, too boring. I love the fact when you get a guy that tells me that I'm boring and he wouldn't buy from me because I'm boring. Why would you buy from me just because I'm exciting? What are you, 5? It does make me laugh when we get people say mad stuff on social media. Like, I'd never buy off that guy because he's boring. You're not buying off me because I'm exciting. You're buying off me because I fix a problem. And that's exactly the same with what we're talking about today with AI. With a huge amount of things, AI isn't at the stage where, for the vast majority of us, they are actually understanding or being able to help people move forward. Think of it as sales pitches. Most of the time, for someone to go from interested in your product or your service to buying it, they need to have a change in belief or perspective or understanding or knowledge. Now, can AI build out great stories, analogies, processes for you to help you do that? Yes. But it does also come down to you. I had a message off a guy the other day that said, oh, we want to bolt an AI setter in there. Now, can AI be used to help in the client journey? Yes. We've got a guy, an AI conversational person that does it on social media. His name's Frank. Great. Is he going to replace an appointment setter? Not at this stage. That might change. The advances we're seeing are so fast now that might well change. But at the moment, going out and trying to outsource everything just because it's out there doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. The big part we need to think about is, what is it you're actually trying to help people achieve with your business? And although it might give you new perspectives and new ideas and plans and solutions, it can really make a difference, sure. But don't let it do all the work. Most of the time, people are going to buy from you. Or you. Whether you're here, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Insta, you're actually the big common denominator that's different to everything else. Look at me for a prime example. I do not pronounce a lot of my words correctly. I have mental hair. I'm pretty old now. I'm quite boring, as Stanley says. But people aren't buying my product because of the product. They're also buying the deliverables and the fact that they want the accountability from me. They want the directness from me. They want the no bullshit approach from me. That's part of the reason why people work with me. It's not because I'm smarter than anyone else. It's because I'm good at holding people accountable. I'm good at going down the rabbit hole and going 3 levels deeper when someone's got a problem. I'm good at sticking with people. I'm good at being a shoulder to cry on, but also the person that's going to give you crap when you mess up. And I can't outsource all that to ChatGPT. And so using it as a bag of tricks is fantastic, and it can really make a massive difference in your business. But I think a lot of people at the moment, one in Declan, one in Max, one in Rousey, one in Young, I think a lot of people are using it to hide and stop themselves having to get out there and have conversations. And it's so important to realize that the vast majority of you, you're actually the big difference between you and your competition. It's not necessarily about the product. It's not always about the service. It's not the fact that they got a 37-point email sequence. A lot of the times when they actually talk to you, do they believe in you? Do they buy into the fact that you are going to help them get that result? Are you the safest bet? And actually, for a huge amount of the time, if people can see it, someone put on here a minute ago about LinkedIn. If what I see is TikTok, is LinkedIn posts, and you can tell it's done by AI, it takes away and it builds almost a bit of a bridge between you and your prospect. So sure, we want to be often using AI. Sounds good. Really smart. But we also want to work out at what point do we utilize the AI part? At what point do we jump in with AI to replace us? And actually, are you at the stage that you're doing it because it benefits your prospect, or are you doing it because it saves you time? And I think that's the biggest part. You've got to be at the stage now where a decision that you're making, is it just down to the fact of it's ChatGPT, so it's easier? Or is it the fact that actually it is better for the end user? In the same way, we get people all the time. Sorry, by the way, anyone on Instagram, I've got an Opal app that cuts off my social medias on that phone. This phone doesn't have it because it's just for work one. And so just cut everyone off on Insta. So yeah, we've got to work out at what point are we bringing in this, and does it benefit the person at the other end? And I'll give you a prime example. 3 years ago, it was all about video editors. Now, video editors are great. I've gone through and used maybe 6 video editors, but do you know what actually gave us the very best results? Was actually not a highly edited video. It wasn't actually that. What gave us the actual result was our live sales calls. And our live sales calls utilize what we class as our Samuel L. Jackson theory. And so our Samuel L. Jackson theory was simply this. Samuel L. Jackson, the actor, right? He, I think he's a cool guy, but I think he's cool because he's based on his actions, not him telling us that he's cool. If he tried telling us he's cool, we probably wouldn't think he was that cool. So we want to be at the stage now of working out how things benefit your prospects. For us in social media, the people that really like the way I work want to hire me, so I shouldn't hide behind AI for that. I need to use AI to make their journey easier, better, more effective. So we use it for message replies. It can have a conversation with people. It can ask all the frequently asked questions with the goal of identifying whether we're actually the right fit. And if they are, we get them into a one-to-one conversation. Because that one-to-one conversation is where all the magic happens. And that's what we need to start focusing in on more and more and more. Is actually, how are you helping your prospects? How are you making their life easier? Are you making their client journey better? Are you making their exposure to you better? Just by putting people in front of AI doesn't mean that it's better for them. It might be easier for you, but you're doing it out of laziness. My goal, we've just launched this now, by the way. So we've literally just launched where we're doing our program where if people don't get a certain amount of extra revenue, we'll give them a refund on our big program, our bigger programs. And that's because we know it works. But we can't just go and outsource and AI all of that stuff, because actually the people that are going to work with us on our one-to-one program, they're going from 50 grand a month to 150 grand a month, 100 grand a month to 250 grand a month, 180 grand a month to 4, whatever that is. That's the one-to-one, the human interaction side. That's what's going to move the needle. That's what's going to help people move. And us just bolting them to AI isn't going to help them make that decision. And also, it makes a difference because people get to buy into me. There was a guy here who gave me crap earlier. I get that all the time. Do you know how good it is on social media when people decide they don't like you? Because imagine if we've got the whole of the world, and I'm talking now like we are here, and maybe Max Jones or James or I Am Mike or whoever it is, 85 Bears, or you guys on TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Insta, and you watch this and you don't like the way I approach stuff, you're not going to work with me. You're never going to fill your details on one of our forms. Prime example, guy called I Am Mike Tyson. You'll be shocked. That's a troll account. But you still peddling this nonsense. Do you know how good that is? Because that guy is never going to be sat there going, oh, I'm going to go and fill my details out for him. So although he'll come on the live or he'll engage in a content which boosts the algorithm, he's not going to come into our funnel. He's not going to have a conversation, which means our conversions are better. And for the people that go, do you know what? I quite like the cut of his jib. I like the way that Dave works. I think Dave would help me get forward. Actually, I like what he did with so-and-so. Oh, I've heard he's done this with this person. He could do the same for me. Those people will now come into our side. Those people will actually come in and engage. Those people will go through the qualification process. Those people will watch the video. Those people, after the video, will engage with our AI chat to make sure it's a fit. And then at that stage, then we'll get involved. But then we're not just getting on calls with people for the sake of getting on the call with them. We're getting onto a call with someone because they've shown and ticked the boxes throughout these stages. That means we get higher conversion. It's exactly the same that I do in solar, flooring, heating, coaches, consultants, experts, recruitment, the whole 9 yards. That's why these companies that have a 15, 20% conversion and we get into a 60% conversion, it's why it happens. Because they're not having pointless conversations with the wrong people or having too many conversations as a senior closer when that person's still at the, oh, it's sort of an idea plan. And this is why AI is so important. If you use it in the right way, it is an amazing tool. And is there a point where we're going to lose hundreds of thousands and millions of jobs across the world? Yeah. But the good thing that you've got is if you are adaptive and you keep learning and you keep mastering your current skills with the AI skills, things are going to move forward for you. And that's what's important. I've got to go because I've got to call at 10:02. We'll be back on Monday doing more lives. Hopefully you enjoy it. I Am Mike Tyson doesn't like me. That's completely fine. If you do like what we're talking about here, there's a Linktree thing in the bio, or DM me guarantee if you want the breakdown on how we'll guarantee results in your business and see if you qualify. Right. See you later, TikTok. Oh, we're going to end it. Instagram, nice to see you. YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. Good to see you. Bye-bye.